Opie is here, and his show starts now.
Oh, God. Yeah, that sounds just like Ain't Wasting Time No More. Who made the mistake there, Eric?
I sent Lewis in to get the song, and he said, time no more. And I looked it up. I said, there is no time no more. There's trouble no more.
Right.
So that was it.
Oh, God. I was excited all day to start the show with Ain't Wasting Time No More by the Allman Brothers.
Okay, so then you know what? Let's reboot. And we'll be back in 3 minutes.
You know what? I like how you think. Me happy.
All right, you can't. I would start every show with two Allman Brothers songs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. E-Rock, thank you. Now I'm very happy. Although Trouble No More is a great Allman Brothers song as well.
It's Muddy Waters. So
yes.
I think Greg wrote that one, but Muddy Waters wrote
Trouble No More originally. But I think the Allman Brothers made that song their own, don't you think?
Well, they
pumped it up a little bit.
That's the old. That was Ron White's go-to, whether at home or on the bus. And I would heard whether he was asking a meet and greeter all the time. People would ask him about his music, and he was like, I tried to listen to all this new stuff, do all these new things, and I'll listen to one or two songs, and I like it. And he goes, but yeah, every day, every goddamn day, I wake up, and I'm like, fucking put on Eat a Peach.
That's a good pick every single time. I was telling you, as those songs were playing, you can't listen to just one Allman Brothers song anyway.
Oh, God,
it's really tough. When I listen to one Allman Brothers song, then I'm into a whole loop.
I had a girlfriend once, and the hook that she got me on was somewhere in the first 10 minutes of talking to her. She went, I don't mean the goddamn radio shitty 5-minute version of Whipping Post. I mean the 19-minute version. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, when I was a music jock, though, that was the go-to song to get some things done.
Sure, of
wink,
course.
wink, nudge, nudge. Sure. Depending on what you needed done, wink, wink, nudge,
you
nudge.
You could get on Rare Earth and Inagata-Navita. And then that one, there's an hour and 15 minutes.
Mine was Whipping Post because that was on the playlist.
Oh yeah.
So
okay,
I mean,
right.
maybe it wasn't on the playlist of the particular song I was, a particular shift I was doing, but I would sneak that one in there to maybe, I don't know, do some things.
Whatever. Yeah.
Do some things.
Extracurricular activity.
Well, when I first started in radio, I worked at a tiny little station in Geneva, New York called CQ 102 Hit Music and More. And I was so bored doing the overnight shift playing music. I mean, that was before I said fuck it all and just started talking in between the records a little more. Because I realized being a music jock, no offense to a lot of the people that do it, there are some people that absolutely do it very well. But in general, it's boring as fuck. And
a lot of downtime.
And I absolutely would not be in this business if I was still just, talking in between records. That said, there absolutely are a few people that do it well.
Hell yeah.
Christine Stone's one of them. I like listening to her actually in between the in between the songs. What?
Dennis Falcone.
Oh, it's Dennis Falcone, of
the
course.
Master.
Yes.
The master, the ninja.
Yes. So I was working in Geneva, New York, and overnights, only one at the station, literally. And I would get hungry, and I would put songs on, and I would get to the drive-through and back before the song ended, baby.
Oh, that's good. And that's good work cheating.
It was a test. And I'm trying to remember the songs that I did that to, because I remember I started with a very long song, and then I went, oh, God, I could beat that record. So the next time I was hungry, a few weeks down the road or a month later, I'm like, I think I could do this in 7 minutes.
So you turned into Jack Warden the Judge and then Justice for All with the helicopter,
yeah, exactly.
And you just started flying out further and further till you passed the gas point before you returned back. Just for why not?
Anything.
Just to flirt with death.
Anything to just, I don't know.
Well, it's work danger. What's going on and what's going on up there? WCTU, is that what you said?
CQ 102 Hit Music and More. They would play Zeppelin, but then they would play like Bette Midler.
All channels did that back then.
Yeah, or whatever. I'm trying to remember. Anita Baker was one of them.
You didn't get a lot of I don't know when you would know more than me about, really, really, really strict formats.
Yeah.
So when I was old, coming up and Edison invented the radio or Marconi or
right.
they They just played everything. You might get Bette Midler followed by something else, something else.
I didn't mind it. They threw it all together.
Right.
I mean, but it was Anita Baker. Then there was some Zeppelin a little later on in the shift. It was very strange. A guy named Randall Bliss. Remember him like it was yesterday. He was the guy that hired me for the first time professionally. Even though it was overnights on the weekend, but still.
Sure, whatever.
You have to start somewhere. and I didn't take it seriously because I was still living in Geneseo, the college I went to. So I would go to happy hour, get all sorts of fucked up, then go to the fraternity house for maybe an hour for a little nap, and then I would take the 45-minute drive to Geneva, New York.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And then by the time I turned around at 6:30 in the morning, I was tired.
Did sometimes the pit stop at the frat house turn not into a nap, but maybe an escalation? And you had to plow on.
I'm not proud of it. But
I'm just saying sometimes.
I'm not proud of it, but there was definitely a whole bunch of times I was driving drunk to
just screaming through wherever.
Oh,
right?
God.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was farmland.
Of course, I've been up there
with those just hills that go up. You don't even see what's coming up. When you're driving up these hilly roads.
I've been all over.
Side.
I did so many gigs between doing the old college circuit and when you're just a comic and taking the gig for any money at all, and next thing you know, you're in the gymnasium at a Herkimer community college.
Oh, did Herkimer? Did you outside Utica, New York?
Yeah, that was one of the first times I got paid and we got to go home.
Yeah,
because there was a big basketball game that night, and the dude realized no one was going to come to the three of us idiots that have driven from New York for the comedy show. And the student activity guy went, he wanted to go to the game too. And he went, this thing got snowed out a few weeks ago and they rescheduled, and I just found out today that we're kind of double fucked here. Nobody's going to come here. And he goes, I'll wait about 5 or 10 minutes. He goes, and I want to go see the game. And we're like, okay. He gave us the checks and we walked over to the gym with him and watched like the first half.
And then got the hell out of there.
That's beautiful. That was maybe the first time ever I got the money and didn't have to do anything.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got Vic Henley here today. I saw Morgan Spurlock's documentary on rats.
He was in here talking about it. Yeah.
What do you mean?
We had him in here. He was saying. When he was getting it ready. And we knew about the book and everything.
Yeah, that was about, a month ago or so?
Seems like.
And it's based on, it says right in the beginning of the movie, it's loosely based on the book Rats.
Yes.
And the book Rats, I really, really enjoyed. That was a great read.
Now, you told me you even went out and were finding the area around the studio.
Yes.
You went almost rat hunting.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Downtown near the Fulton Street Market.
Right.
Fulton Fish Market. Fulton Street Fish Market.
That's the main
Fulton,
place.
Whatever, yeah. There were some side roads down there that were infested with rats. But this movie by Morgan Spurlock, bravo. I wrote him and said, man, you outdid yourself. This movie's going to do very well. It's like a horror movie.
Oh, good.
It takes a lot to get my skin crawling.
Yeah.
And my skin was crawling watching this movie. And then a few times I was making faces like this, and my son's like, "What's wrong with you, Dad?" I'm like, "I'm watching this movie." I was just blown away by this thing. That guy was awesome. We're looking at is this the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, play the trailer for Vic. Let's start this over. Morgan Spurlock's coming in tomorrow to promote this, but I want to start promoting it today because this thing was great. Just want to give Vic a little taste. Here's the trailer.
I was interested when he was in the studio.
They're showing an old guy with a flashlight taking a look. He's finding the rat droppings. He's looking in the drop ceiling, and a rat pops out.
Say in New York City, there's a rat for every person. I think there's more. I spent 40 years out there working as an exterminator. I gotta respect them. They jump out. I'm jumping back.
Area residents have been concerned about rat infestation. The city failing to control its vermin.
Yeah, they said we don't have a rat problem. Jesus. Thousands of them.
They're concerned about disease.
Tapeworms.
Parasites.
Put it in nothing.
Rats are basically down in the sewers. They can swim up. Rat, when he bites you, he twists.
Goes all over the world for this movie.
They're just too damn smart. It's becoming harder and harder to kill them.
End of winter, it's rat reproduction season. You put the rodenticide inside the bait box.
Our elected officials do things half-assed. If you just put poison down, it ain't happening.
All over the globe, rats are showing poison-resistant mutations.
Very, very concerning. It's widespread.
Rats evolve 10 times faster than humans.
Oh my God.
And it's made them the most successful species on the planet.
If something in the food chain ain't got something above it, we will knock it down. There it is. He's got him.
Terriers.
It's still alive.
Hunting rats.
I'm no scientist. If we disappear, the rats would take over.
Isn't that amazing?
That's outstanding.
I absolutely loved it. And Morgan Spurlock's going to be in tomorrow. That old guy, he's just in a room. It's lit perfectly, and he's smoking a cigar, and he's just talking about his 40, I think he said in the movie, 48 years he's been exterminating rats in New York City. And he just knows, look, we'll never get rid of the rats, and we'll barely knock down the population of the rats. And he said, even after all these years, if he sees a rat, he will jump back.
Oh, yeah.
He will jump back. He's still freaked out by rats after
just because so many times he's got a permanent flinch.
And he's
he looked like a very strong, powerful
he's
man.
He's a badass in the movie, how he talks about the rats.
He did not like any kind of wilting flower at all.
And he says we're just stupid, especially in New York, because we're just leaving bags of food, on the side of the road for the sanitation.
Yeah.
And it's just filled with food. And the rats,
of course.
And the rats know it, and most of these bags are right next to the sewers. So the rats just know to pop into a bag, and they got their feast.
Elevator to the buffet, baby.
Right.
And I see them walking home all the time. Don't you see them? And no matter how nice the neighborhood, if there's garbage bags out on the street and you're out late enough and it's dark enough and that's their time, you'll see them scurrying around the whole time. I mean, that's just a common New York City thing.
I was walking around a bunch today, and I was looking at every crack in the sidewalk.
You got extra after watching this.
Oh, yeah. And if you really look out for rats when you're walking around New York City, you are guaranteed to see one every day.
That's why when I see the little mouse, it doesn't bother me that much.
The mice are a joke.
I think they're almost adorable. I'm not afraid. I want to pet them.
I lived on 71st and Columbus Avenue, and there was a major mice problem. They've heard my mice problems over the years. I had a brownstone that was completely infested. Electric traps killing 60, 70, 80 of them in my apartment. Wow. My tiny little one-bedroom apartment. But down the road, on the corner of 71st and Columbus, there was a restaurant and a bunch of garbage pails there. At night, they would come out, and it was sort of like a thing to do to see how many mice you could see going in and out of these garbage pails every single night. They just couldn't get rid of them. But they said if you have mice, you don't have rats.
Down through the years, I've been in my place 17, 18 years. I've probably seen maybe 3 max, but if I leave my back door open, I think a couple of them have gotten in just because they've wandered in. But only mice, Never a rat, always a little tiny mouse.
Yeah, they say that if you got the mice, you should breathe a sigh of relief. That means, you don't have rats.
My neighbor, they were building a big high rise across from us, and it was driving a lot of them towards our building.
Right.
And my neighbor got a cat, and then there went that. And that all went away. That was it. No more. When Freddie showed up.
Right.
And he's a Hitler cat.
Oh, really?
He's the cat with the Hitler mustache.
Yeah. Right on. My brother used to live on the Upper East Side around 100, somewhere in that area where it starts getting not as nice.
Yeah, sure.
And he was, him and his buddies right out of college. He tells horror stories about how they would just be fighting rats in their apartment all the time. All the
rats,
time.
Big rats.
Oh, yeah, they were 22, 23, so it didn't even bother them. But they would get the pots and pans out and just start fucking hammering, rats left and right. There was always something going on in his apartment.
My middle brother Mike lived in such a shithole in Birmingham, Alabama, and one of his favorite stories that he always told was they were having a big barbecue and a party, and they forgot something something. They came back, so they left all the grocery bags sitting there on their kitchen table, still in the plastic bags and everything, and went, oh shit, we needed more ketchup or ice or something. And they were gone 10 minutes, and they came back, and 2 or 3 of the bags had already been eaten into.
Oh my God.
And they'd gone for these, the buns. They go for all the hot dog buns and hamburger buns, and there was rat shit everywhere, and they were literally only gone 10 minutes, and they were looking at how they get up on the table. There were no chairs, and so they go outside, they get the maintenance man at the shithole apartment complex and bring him in. They show him all this, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. My experience, the ones that are big enough to do this, they can leap at you and jump like 4 or 5 feet in the air. I've had them jump at me. It scared me to death. And my brother goes, this doesn't solve, I got a barbecue going on. This doesn't solve my fucking problem.
Of course not.
You're telling me your solution to this is tell all your guests, a big one can leap 6 feet in the air.
He talks about that in his documentary, Morgan Spurlock, how they like to jump on your chest.
That's what the maintenance man said.
They have no problem jumping on your chest.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this movie a little bit. So, I mean, if you got to tune us out for a little bit, I understand. But they talk about how the rats are mutating and they're getting basically immune to the poisons.
To various insecticides.
And they're saying this is happening around the world at the same fucking time, and they don't understand.
They
don't understand that part of the equation. What?
Secret rat grapevine.
Some kind of, I don't know, like communication going on.
CB radio, they're going old school.
And they learn. So if you put poison down, they learn. You know, and what they do is this is how smart the rat community. They call them like communities because I'm stammering because of this movie. Anyway, they will send their weakest rat to check out if something foreign is in the area.
No kidding.
And they'll send the weakest rat. And if the weakest rat, dies because it's poison or whatever, then they're like, oh, okay. So you know what they do? Then they pee on that spot to tell everyone else, don't fuck with that area because they're putting poison down. Yes. Man. And they learn when you put traps in their areas, because they have their whole system of how they, wander around. And if you put something in there, they will learn to go around it because they're like that. We know that this has nothing to do with us and that this came from somewhere else.
Good God.
That was in the book, Rats. Morgan Spurlock did a great documentary. And then they're dissecting the rats and the stuff they find that are living inside the organ.
Yeah, that looked gross on the documentary.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, yes, correct.
They showed that.
Super creepy. No, you said horror film. That looked alien horror film-ish, creepazoid.
When they're taking the tweezers and just pulling things out of the rat, and they're like, see, this is very dangerous to humans. You see this thing?
Worm.
I'm calling it thing.
Worm-ish.
Well, it was worm-ish.
Yeah.
Parasites and tapeworms they found. And some kind of fly larvae.
Where's this going to be on? Is it on
any day because he's promoting? He'll be in here tomorrow, so I don't know where it's going. I would assume he's throwing this in movie theaters. This, like I said, it plays like a horror movie.
It's a feature, right? Yeah, I can tell by the way you're watching and the way the trailer's cut is also very super interesting and scary at the same damn time.
And then they went all over the world. They go to India and they have a major rat problem there, obviously. And there's this guy they follow for a little while. Midnights at Landmark Cinemas starting, Discovery Channel. Oh, it's going on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
October 22nd. Yeah. That would be Saturday. It'll be on the Discovery Channel. Rats, the documentary by Morgan Spurlock. So they go to India, and there's such a problem with rats there. There's this guy, he gets together with his friends, and they just got sandals on. And the government over there is saying, if you're going to hunt rats, you got to get gloves and proper footwear on. These guys go out with a net. They got sandals on, no gloves, and they know where the rats are. And they, they get them out of their burrows and stuff, and then they trap them with the net. And then they show these guys just breaking the necks of the rats. They're like,
that's how they finally get rid of them. That's the final solution.
Because they don't want the blood around for whatever reason. I guess because that would spread the disease.
Sure.
And they collect rats all night.
So they got them in a big bag, and there's like a bag of pecans, and they're just cracking them up. They're just taking them out.
They're just yanking them, and then with a move to break the neck. And then at the end of the night, this guy and his buddies, they got a whole bag of rats, and they go to some government outlet or whatever, and they're getting paid.
Nice.
per rat or whatever. That's what they do for a living. At night, they go and hunt rats with sandals on. Oh, and this scene.
They don't give a fuck.
This scene was amazing.
The people, we've seen that. Those are like the people in New York with the dogs.
With the terriers.
Yeah, with the terriers. That's also crazy.
I had no idea, but the Mike Rowe thing on CNN that we played recently on this show, where there's a group of people in New York City, they take their terriers and they hunt rats at night, and it's a whole group, and they, I guess they socialize doing this.
My buddy went after one this summer, and he thought it was a squirrel, and it was just, he was sitting there by the pool in Dallas, and all of a sudden Cooper went crazy and went charging, because next thing you knew, he had him, was just yanking him around. He had to take Cooper to the vet immediately.
Right.
Because of all the whatever he might have just ingested. But he's had the dog 5-6 years, never seen him go off like a shot like that at something, and just scared him to death when he found out it was a goddamn rat.
Isn't it scary when you learn how violent your pet could be?
Yes, exactly. I've met Cooper, and Cooper is fun. He named him Cooper because I had a dog named Cooper, and my dog was pretty mellow.
Right. Yeah.
And he was named out, and he's a little high strung with the bouncing, but not out of control. You can walk him off the leash. He always listened. He said, boy, his eyes roll like Jaws. He went batshit crazy that day.
I had a flea-infested cat that I got in Buffalo. And when I moved back home to Long Island to do radio at BAB, I was living with my parents for a little while, and I had this flea-infested cat. By the time I got it to Long Island, no more fleas, thank God. But I was doing a late-night shift at BAB, and I would come home, and I would leave the cat outside all night long because my mom was allergic to cats. And this thing would bring me chipmunks every night.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, fuck, man. I thought this was just a cute, innocent, cat, my pet. And, I mean, these things dead and just ripped apart. And he would drop them at my feet almost every night when I pulled up. He knew my car, and he'd come running down from the woods with a chipmunk, dropped it at the stoop, and then went inside with
Daddy's home.
Yeah, but when you learn what your pet is capable of doing, it's very creepy.
The aforementioned Freddie, the Hitler cat, I would occasionally go and feed him when my neighbors would go on vacation and stuff. And one time I went over there to feed him, and he'd brought in, I don't know, it had to be more than one pigeon, but there were so many feathers and disemboweling going on over the whole. It looked like somebody just opened up Feather Pillow and shook it from one end of their apartment to the other. And so I did have a cell phone at the time, and I remember sending my neighbor, I'm like, tell me where your vacuum cleaner is. I can't just leave this in here for 2 days. And she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, never mind. Like Freddie went on a killing spree, apparently. And he was doing the same thing. They were gone, and he was bringing them the pigeons or something, because I was coming and bringing him the food. I don't know, but some weird ass thing was going on. Yeah, that was one of the biggest messes I've ever cleaned up, period, in my life, was a Fred kill.
A pigeon that was ripped apart. Right. Yeah, well, in the Morgan Spurlock documentary, these terriers, so Mike Rowe introduced me to that, where the terriers love hunting rats. They probably love hunting squirrels and everything else, I would assume, not just rats. Anyway, in the movie, there's a whole group in England that goes to these farms, these pig farms and stuff, that have major rat problems, that are really, eating crops and eating the feed for the pigs and all that. Yeah. And you hire these guys. Yeah, this scene.
They come in.
And they come in with their terriers, and I think they had about 20 dogs ripping through this farm. And the violence that they showed in this scene was just unbelievable. And the terriers both grabbing the same rat at the same time as it's alive, just ripping it to shreds.
Sure.
Where the owners have to calm the dogs down a little bit and try to get the rat out of its mouth.
Well, the one with Mike Rowe was like that, and that was just city ones. They were just shaking the dumpsters, and it's like, you're right. It's just complete. You can't. 4 hours later, they're bathed and groomed, and they're in your house sitting on your couch,
right? Yeah, licking your face all night,
acting like playing with your kids, acting like nothing ever happened. Sit, uku, everything's fine.
But they got that in their brains that they could turn on at any second,
all the way back to the wolf, baby.
Any second, yeah, exactly. The wolf gene is still deep in there somewhere.
It's like their Hulk.
Yeah. And then there was then they went to Cambodia. And I think it was a rice field, and these guys were collecting rats, and I didn't know why, but at first, but in the movie, they're like, yeah, they want them alive. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? So these guys are collecting all these rats in traps. Then they sell it to this one guy. He's got scales and everything, depending on how much rat you're bringing. He's paying, and they're showing him paying the money. And these guys are going off all happy on their scooters. Then this guy goes to the border of Vietnam, and he hands over the rats, and they're cooking them. Oh, they're cooking them, and then they show a lady preparing rats.
Well,
First of all, she drowns all of them.
Okay, you got to blanch.
She drowns all the rats, and then she's got a cleaver, and she's just chopping the legs, the tail, the head off like it's nothing. And then she's skinning the rats. And then she's trying to say how delicious rats are and that everyone should try it. It tastes like chicken, but a little sweeter, they say in this movie.
Oh,
a little sweeter. And then they show these beautiful displays, dishes that she makes.
The meat that's what it is.
Beautiful. And then they put it at the table, and you see these guys just ripping into these rat dishes like it's chicken wings.
Well, to each his own,
I guess.
Andrew Zimmern's made a career going around the world and eating that stuff and watching it.
Right.
Bourdain's eating some crazy stuff.
Bourdain doesn't get as crazy as Zimmerman, right?
I've seen it. I saw him eat. The reason I ate the eyeball on your show back when I ate the eyeball at the Mad Cuban was because I'd seen Anthony Bourdain eat the seal eyeball right out of the seal, fresh on the ice.
Oh my God.
At least the Mad Cuban had blanched mine, and it
was disgusting. Wasn't it?
It was weird. It was just so odd. The goddamn eyeball.
Right.
Well,
and then the final scene of Rats, you just got to see it. You just got to see it. I can't give away.
Is it an hour and a half? Is it a feature? It's
a solid hour and a half.
Perfect.
And like I said, my skin was crawling through most of this movie. It takes a lot for me to get to that point. And the last scene, the last 10 minutes, is like, holy shit, what the fuck? We'll talk about that next week after it runs on Discovery this weekend.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Then just in time for Halloween.
I'm telling you.
Something creepy and awful for the kids.
It kind of plays like a horror movie.
I love
really
that.
Does.
I like that analysis. I bet you Spurlock will like that analysis, too.
Yeah.
We'll see what he says.
All right. We'll have him in here tomorrow. So let me say hi to good old Joe in the Poconos. Joe, what's going on?
What's up, Opie?
Hey, man.
Yeah, man. In 99, I was 17, and I was working in the East Village. We were building a Rite Aid, and the laborers were jackhammering the floor out, and this giant rat pops out, and the 7-foot-tall guy named Mustafa hit it with a shovel, and the rat just shook it off and ran right towards him. It did nothing. I mean, Mustafa was like an African dude with yellow eyes that was one of the biggest, scariest dudes I ever met. And this rat was like, I don't know, it took a shot and it did nothing.
I love how you said it. He shook it off. I completely believe that. Completely believe that. And
anyway, I love the show in the afternoon. I'm happy that you're in the afternoon.
Thanks, Joe.
It frees up my morning to listen to Howard.
Good old Howie.
I thought you were going to say watch The View.
Right. All right, Joe, whatever. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let me move on to...
Keep up the good work.
All right, man. Let me say hi to Rocky in New Jersey. Rocky, what's going on, man?
Not much. I love the show.
Thanks, Rocky.
Hey, so I own some of those dogs. I took some to a job one time. I hate those rats, man. Those rats, one of my dogs goes in the kitchen, one of those rats gets up on its hind legs and tries to fuck my dog in the ass. Not even kidding.
Is this an old joke?
Yeah, we're waiting for the punchline. You're telling the truth there.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
He's embarrassed because his dog almost got fucked in the ass by a rat.
Okay.
The dog doesn't come back from that one.
No.
He was tired. I couldn't look him in the face.
Yeah.
Look him in the face.
I used to have some pretty good connections in New York City, and the boys were going to take me down into the subway system, way down, where most people don't go. And they said, because I was obsessed with wanting to see rats for a while.
Okay.
And they're like, all right, you want to see rats? We'll bring you. But they're like, but we don't think you're going to, survive. You're not going to like this whatsoever. We do this for a living, and we're freaked out. And to bring a civilian down there, you got to be well prepared for this. And they're like, we got to dress you from head to toe, and you're going down ladders way deep.
Well, like you said, if the creepy guy in the movie who seemed calm, cool, and collected talking about it, still thinks he's, he didn't seem demure.
Yeah.
If he's still jumping back and flinching, it must something crazy. It must be orgiastic.
Right. Wait, I don't even know. I don't know that word.
It's just a big pile of rats where you just look up, maybe like 1,000 of them. Just looks like they're all just moving together as one fucking giant rat unit.
Well, that's what you see in New York sometimes with the bushes. You think there's a little breeze happening, a little breeze, and then you're like, nope, there's a whole bunch of rats out feeding right now. But I backed out. In the end, I backed out. I had a chance to go deep down into the subways. And they're like, we'll show you some rats. And they would say stuff like, the rats are as big as little dogs down there and everything. I'm like, holy fuck. Maybe I would do it.
How do I?
Would you go underground and check out the rats?
Sure, I would. Yeah, I would.
Really?
In a suit, I'd feel safe. I'd feel like there was something scientific and okay about it. When I'm sure the fucker could just snap right through there and rip a hole in it.
You wouldn't go down there like the guys in India with just sandals on?
No, I wouldn't go flip flops. No flip flops and some Bermuda shorts.
Let me say hi to Alan in Sacramento. Alan, what's going on, man?
I got a cat kill story for you. I rescued a cat, and I guess she'd been at the house about a week, and I used to have doves that would perch on the balcony outside the apartment. Well, I got up one morning, and it was like, what the heck is that? And she's sitting at the foot of the bed, and there is one half of a dove. I mean, perfectly dissected right down the half. You go around the corner, and there's like this bird murder scene on the floor. She's sitting there just looking so cute, like, see what I brought you?
Look what I did.
And I was like, oh,
yeah.
That's so nice. Thank you so much. Oh, my God.
It creeps you out when you realize what your pet is capable of doing. Yeah. And most of us have found that out over the years. So
That's it.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe there was one more here I wanted to take a look at. I think they might have. Oh, no, this is actually, let's just do this. Quentin in Texas, go ahead.
Hey, Opie, how you doing, man? I'm a new listener.
All right.
I kind of started listening to you, I guess, right after Anthony left.
Okay.
Man, you guys are awesome, man. I just wanted to let you know I'm an Opie guy, man. You and Vic Henley and that black guy, what's his name? Sherrod Small?
Yeah, Sherrod's all right.
You guys are awesome together, brother.
Thank you.
Wanted to let you all know that you're killing it, man. That's it,
Oh, I appreciate it. It said on the phone that they really like you, Vic. That's why I picked up the line just to give you a quick one.
I'm sure their lives are lacking something.
Look,
I like Vic Henley. He's the man, That's why I'm saying you guys are a perfect match together.
Oh,
you
thanks.
Need to quit your shit, Vic Henley, and stay in there.
Thanks,
I told the whole story, but when it was going back and forth, I said no to the company many, many times. And then I said, look, I'm not doing it unless I could have, and I'm probably going to piss off a few guys, but I got a short list of guys that I really like. But then I got the three that I really want to be doing the show with on a regular basis. And that's Vic Henley, Sherrod Small, and Chris DiStefano. And then you throw in a few other guys there, like, Florentine and Voss and a couple others. And I'm very happy with that crew. And then, of course, the other comics that have certainly helped me out over the years, we're going to be moving in and out. So that was my thought when I was trying to build the afternoon show, and they finally saw it my fucking way. They didn't see it at first.
They're like every good corporation. They're good listeners.
Oh,
corporations
really?
are known for their listening and openness and encouragement. We just had Bosses Day. You should have gotten them something. You should have told them how some. In America, I think we had Bosses Day.
I'll give them something.
My girl took a card to her part-time job because they're always yelling at each other, and it was just the most. It was just the most for all you do to encourage us, and she just works at a restaurant, so all the waitresses signed it just to give to him as a giant fuck you. We know you're a dick.
Oh, good.
That's
There's not really a Boss's Day.
Boss's Day was Monday, I think.
Do you get to put a big pile of shit on their desk?
Whatever, I don't know, but I believe it was Monday. It was.
Who the fuck came up with Boss's Day?
Some kiss ass in HR, motherfucker.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, see, there it was.
That's exactly right. There was a little bit of a panic yesterday because we're on this floor, which is more programming, and people are relatively cool. Because
I love everybody down
as far as satellite radio goes, these are the people that are creating and trying to get something done. Upstairs, it's a little more stuffy, and they threw me upstairs. There's like an empty office that I've been kind of barely using because it doesn't even have a chair in it.
It's just moving you around now, like the intern.
Yeah,
put him over. You're like the guy in Office Space, Stephen Root.
Yes, Milton.
Right.
So Paul's been up there. It's pretty sad, to be honest with you, Vic. If you follow me on Instagram, Opie Radio, I'm really pushing my Instagram a lot lately, right. and you can do stories on Instagram. So I showed my empty office.
Right.
I had a chair yesterday. Now I don't have a chair anymore. Wow. And then I have a suit bag. that's just
A
hanging.
garment bag.
A garment bag with no suit in it. And that's my office. So I'm up there yesterday, and then Larry, who pretty much runs this place and used to be Paul's. Oh no, you guys are still roommates. Yes. Yeah,
Larry from right down here.
You know Larry?
I know Larry right down here. Roland used to live with Larry. Larry had to kick Roland out.
Absolutely,
that's Larry. Okay.
That's Larry.
All right,
So,
and we're back.
Larry pops into this office space that I'm using, and I just start screaming with the door open, "Get the fuck out, Larry! I don't want in here, Larry! Fuck you!" And Kenny, who's never bothered. I was
never flinches.
I was filming it for my dumb Instagram story.
It's a little sketch.
So I'm like, oh, that came out well. I was kind of happy with that. I was yelling at Larry and telling him to go fuck himself. And then Kenny comes running in. He never... Kenny goes... HR's on this floor.
Oh, God.
And everyone popped up from their cubicles. They're fucking pissed that you're screaming, fuck you on this floor.
Oh, God damn it. I love that. See?
You do love that?
That's what I do. I love shit like that. No, once I was somewhere once talking to a friend of mine somewhere, and a whole bunch of heads popped out. And I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
But they were screaming at me, but I was telling some foul story about something, whatever. But it's good for them.
I'm in a good mood today until you brought up Boss's Day.
You know, I'm sorry.
I think
I
that is
apologize.
pathetic.
Just forget it. Just etch a sketch. Just erase it. Go
Who
back.
the fuck came
I
up
told
with that?
you.
Look it up.
Some kiss ass. Somebody at Hallmark in HR. That's what some kiss ass at Hallmark.
Yeah, exactly.
In HR.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right. Wanting to create yet another.
You know, it's stupid Hallmark just trying to get more cards out there that we have to buy, right? Patricia Bays Harowski registered National Boss Day with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in 1958. Yuck.
Working as a secretary for a State Farm Insurance Company in Deerfield, Illinois. So
what a kiss ass.
That's what
I
it is.
guarantee she didn't even get a fucking Christmas bonus, even after coming up with Boss's Day.
In 58, that's like Mad Men and shit.
Right.
You know, I'm sure it wasn't a lovely environment for women in the workplace in 58.
That was the hiney pinching era. Right?
The Donald Trump pussy grabbing time.
Yeah, you give the old secretary a pinch on the hiney just to show her that she's doing a good job.
That's what you're right. Exactly. A wink and a nod. Maybe buy her a martini afterward.
Right. She was working for her father at the time.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's
so you
okay.
understand that a little bit.
So she is kissing ass.
The purpose of designating a special day in the workplace is to show the appreciation for her bosses she thought they deserved.
Okay.
This was also a strategy to attempt to improve intra-office relationships between managers and their employees. How did that work out for you, Patricia? Everyone hates their managers.
It said Hallmark didn't get on board till 79.
Yeah, of course.
So they did. They waited. They waited for 20 years. They waited for 20 years, and then they jumped on board in 79, which I think is very patient for Hallmark. Usually they're right in there on day 2.
Especially if they know they can make a little
money. That's what I'm saying.
Off
They're
it.
there on day 2, usually.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm sorry I told you that.
Let's say hi to Roy in Ohio. What's up, Roy?
Hello. First time caller, long time listener.
Whack, whack.
Hacky radio shit.
Yeah.
I'm a truck driver now, and when I was a kid, we used to travel with a carnival, and we used to live down in Texas, and we was taking care of some of the equipment out there. And this rat come running across the yard. My mom whacked it in the head with a shovel. Took it across the street, then shook it off. It come back at her again. She whacked it harder. She thought she killed it the second time.
Yeah.
Took it back across the street, threw it out in the ditch.
Yeah.
About a half hour later, she went to go check on it again, and the damn thing was gone.
Oh, he walked it off. I'm telling you.
No, tell him wait till after the break. We're going to break in a couple minutes. We're going to have DC Benny in here. I should have told people. For the first time, definitely in studio. I might have talked to him on the phone. We'll get him in after the break because we're going to break in about 5 minutes.
So I want to, this guy, he said, you were a carny? You grew up in the carny?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Rolling around Texas, setting up shit year-round? Or
Yep.
What was your game?
Well, we had Smash the Can, we had High Striker, we had Fool the Guesser, Glass Pitch, we had bushel baskets, darts, balloons, stars. We had Fun House, Spook House.
Right.
You have freak
My
shows?
dad managed a lot of rides and stuff.
And tell the people out there that it's almost impossible to win these things.
It is not impossible, but there is a skill to it.
You really got to know how to do it just right.
Exactly.
What about the milk? The milk bottles with the rings, and there's a whole field of milk bottles, and all you have to do is get it on the top. That's impossible, right?
Nope. That's all skill. Well, it's more luck.
How is
more
that
luck.
skill?
It's luck.
We had how many of us? Like 6 of us down on the Jersey Boardwalk in Wildwood, over and over again, just trying to get one out of 6 of us. All getting a bucket of those rings at a time.
My favorite one was landing the coin on the plate.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one. That was my...
Were you good at it?
I was okay at it. I was okay at the coin.
You actually won?
Oh, yeah. I won a couple of times. Blind luck, like you said, though. If you win, it's blind luck. You know?
All right. You can't say it's skill. Yeah. The little red ring on the top of the milk bottles.
That one?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's skill in the way you toss it.
All right.
Did you ever have anything go? Sorry, man. Did you ever have anything go wrong? Did people want to whip your ass for cheating them? Did it? You know?
Every fucking night. If I didn't have people pissed off at me by the end of the night, I didn't do my job right.
How many fights did he get in over the years?
Oh, at one time. Well, see, my dad was 6'5.5", and he weighed about 350, 400 pounds.
Good God.
And I would take on, 3, 4, 5 guys by myself. But when they were bigger guys, my dad was always in the background. I'd let these guys run their mouth, and I'm like, y'all can jump in anytime. I said, but he's my backup. And boy, those guys would just run away. They didn't want nothing to do with my dad.
That sounds like a great gig, though.
Is he still alive today?
No, he passed away in 2005. He was a truck driver. He got riddled up with cancer pretty bad. And
fuck, sorry to hear, bro.
How about a big old burly fucking carny owner, traveling around Texas?
I think it would be a good gig for a while.
It's super interesting.
Absolutely, some people watching.
Fun.
Yeah,
it was fun. I mean, from the time I was young, well, me and my brothers, we traveled, until about 94.
So you did it from like your teenage years into your 20s or something?
No, I was a kid. I grew up doing it. But we traveled
awesome.
during the summer mostly.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Like a 5-year-old just roaming around the debauchery of the Carny show.
That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Dude, we would go into these small towns.
Yeah.
And I would always read the information that was on the buildings or in the rest areas or whatever in these towns. There's more history there than there was in the history books when we go to school, because I went to school in the North and the South. And the North, I'm originally from New York, and the North schools are more industrial. The Southern schools are all sports-driven. So you get contrast of history, whether it's the North or the South side of it. When you're in the South, it's always driven towards the South. When you're in the North, it's driven towards the North side of things. Nothing ever goes together unless you read the history in the towns themselves.
What? I know what he's trying to say. It's like, if you're down south and you look at a plaque or you're reading something, it might be, we had this ball game here on this day, and so. That where if you're up north, it might be, this professor delivered this speech. Is that what you're saying, I think?
Yeah, well, like the battles and stuff.
Of course.
And stuff.
Right.
In the history books, it was different versions of it, whether you was in the school in the South.
Oh, of course.
All right.
Sure.
I know.
Now I saw what he was saying. Sure.
We got you now.
Yeah, he lost me.
So then when I would go into the towns themselves, you could read up the history of the town itself. And it would be totally different than what the history book even said.
Oh, yet a third version of maybe, because you happen to be right there. Oh, that's cool.
Well, because every town wants to think it's the greatest town. So they're probably pumping up their local stories.
Their last-minute PR blurb comes out.
We had that. We had a place in Centerport where supposedly George Washington, slept here type of bullshit. But I bet you he just passed the damn old house. And then a rumor started that he slept there. And then,
it probably wasn't even President Washington, though. It was just somebody with the name George.
Yeah, exactly. Just pumping up that shit. All right, Roy, thank you so much for calling the show.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man. Sorry, I hung up on you. And now we just got a ton of people talking about their pets just dragging all sorts of dead shit into their houses.
Well, if we said, I wonder what the most interesting thing,
Well,
somebody could claim, but rats and birds and, squirrels and chipmunks, that's all pretty kind. Anybody got like a beaver?
All right, let me read this. Scott in Nevada, I ate rat in Thailand. Alex in New Mexico, I had a giant rabbit that killed the neighbor's cats.
Ooh, that's good.
Jason in Ohio, rats used to fall on my face in Iraq. Rich in Cleveland, sorry about the Blue Jays, Rich. Keeping that series alive. He writes, my cat drags rabbits and mice through the doggy door. Okay. Jimmy in New York, lobsters and shrimp eat shit off the ocean floor and we eat them. Lisa in Michigan, rat games at the carnival. Brad in Georgia, Vic sounds like a liberal Democrat the more he speaks. Threw a little anger in there.
It's okay. I will, what should I say to not sound like a liberal Democrat?
Threw a little anger.
I will retract the right to vote.
And then Dave in Chicago, we used to light rats on fire. I'm going to go with the giant rabbit, right?
Yeah.
All right. Alex in New Mexico, one more before we take a break, move on to other things. What's up, Alex?
Hey, how's it going? Loving the afternoon.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I had a rabbit my grandpa used to have a rodeo up in Southern Oregon, and they released a bunch of fryer rabbits out one year, and the kids could all go get them, and I ended up catching one, and we took it back home to Northern California there. It grew up, it was tiny, and it got to about the size of like a big-ass house cat. And we'd let it run around the backyard until the neighbor's cats would patrol the fence, and then eventually one day we left her out on accident and came home. She had shredded the throat and the belly out of the neighbor's cat behind us. And, you're 7 years old. That's a fun thing to come home to.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Wow. Killer bunny?
She killed 4 cats in the neighborhood. And we had a St. Bernard and a German Shepherd, too. But that rabbit would just sit in the yard, wait. Cat would come down, and she would fuck their day up.
So it wasn't the cat starting some shit trying to kill the rabbit. It was the other way around. She was just chilling and then murder time.
Wow.
Well, they thought they were going to take this rabbit down. You'd see them stalk the fence, and the second they got near her and tried to pounce, she'd flip 180, kick, stun them, and then jump on them, start shredding them with her little back feet, and then start biting at their throats. So it was a serial killer rabbit.
Holy shit.
That's a t-shirt.
We had to put her down because she had a prolapsed asshole. So too many cats.
Wait, the giant rabbit couldn't survive a prolapsed asshole?
Well, it shit half of its intestines out. I'm like, took her to the vet. They're like, no, that's not from eating something wrong. That's her inside.
That's a medical problem.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah, my mom was like, I think we're done cleaning up dead cats out of the backyard.
Anyway,
my mom would put them in a trash bag and hide them so that the neighbors like,
what happened to my cat?
Cat? Like, fuck, shit, I don't know what the fuck happened to your cat. Must be must have been something.
I'm reading between the lines here. I think they were finding an excuse to get rid of the fucking giant rabbit.
Oh, really?
Found a flea on the giant rabbit. He's got to go. We got to kill this thing.
Yeah, so my mom blamed it on the Laotians that lived a block over.
There you go. It's always the Laotians.
Especially if they can't speak English.
You guys have a good one, all right?
Thanks, all right, Alex. Good story, man.
Thanks.
We should take a break so we can get DC Benny in here. What else is going on? We got the debate tonight. That's going to be exciting, man.
Cleveland, Toronto starts in 10 minutes.
We can
another afternoon game. I don't want to watch. I'll be surprised.
Well, all right, you want to?
No, I don't know. We can do whatever.
In this day and age, it's impossible to be surprised. Someone always fucks it up. You could try your hardest to not see a score. Don't go on your phone.
I let the Rock Hall nomination slip by. I didn't know that. Paul told me that slipped by me the other day.
What?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations came out, and I usually see that when that comes out.
Who are the big ones?
I missed that somehow.
You got Pearl Jam, I know. You got Tupac, I know.
Yeah, they were telling me in the office earlier. ELO was mentioned, was on there.
Journey's on it.
Journey?
Yes.
Like a band like Journey should have been in, right?
I don't know. It's so weird. The more we learn about this, it gets weirder and weirder with the criteria every year.
And most of the guys you talk to, they're like, it's all just crap anyway.
Steve Miller was leaning more towards correct last year.
Oh, remember
Steve
Miller?
Yeah, than crazy. He was actually in once you got behind the scenes.
All right, here we go. You got Pearl Jam this year, Tupac, Depeche Mode. I used to like Depeche Mode.
I love Depeche Mode.
ELO. Why isn't ELO in the red?
I don't know. Maybe is it repeats or whatever? No.
Maybe. Jane's Addiction. Maybe The Red is the band's on the list for the first time. Janet Jackson, Journey, The Cars, The Zombies, and Yes. The rest of this year's hopefuls are Bad Brains, Chaka Khan.
That's right.
Chic, Jay Giles Band, Joan Baez, Joe Tex, Kraftwerk, MC5, nice, and Steppenwolf. All right.
I can't
hear you there, E-Rock.
Sorry.
You're really low on my headphones today.
I said The Red is just links to their websites.
No, I think it's first timers.
Previous articles from.
Oh, okay. All right, I see.
It was one of those interweb things.
Yeah.
And how many they pick out of that list?
5.
So you got to go Pearl Jam without a doubt, right?
Tupac.
Yeah,
that's 2 right there.
You got to go Tupac without a doubt.
Well, yeah. If you go NWA last year, then who's next after the rap groundbreaking category? Tupac's fabulous. Yeah.
So who else would you put on that list? Pearl Jam, Tupac. We need 3 more. Man, I think you got to go Journey.
I'm seeing Bad Brains above the MC5, and I'm trying to remember my insane brain. And I think I've got a cover somewhere of Bad Brains covering the MC5's "Kick Out the Jams, Motherfucker."
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's around. That exists, but that's weird that those 2 are right above each other on the list. That's just my Tetris insane brain.
I mean, Joan Baez. I guess she must be on the list.
Chaka Khan. I love Chaka Khan.
Better than the Cars.
Oh, not better than the Cars.
The Cars had a nice career.
Yeah, Chaka Khan's they're both still going. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And
that's your debate right there.
So after the break, we're going to get DC Benny in. And also, I want to talk to you about A Face in the Crowd.
Oh, sweet.
Vic is great at turning me on to stuff to check out.
Just Andy Griffith related stuff.
I was like, when you were telling me about that last week, I'm like, Andy Griffith.
Evil Andy.
It was Evil Andy in A Face in the Crowd. And you said at the time, it's one of your favorite movies of all time.
It is.
So when you said that, I'm like, all right, I'm watching this fucking thing over the weekend. I loved this movie.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
And it really reminds you of Donald J. Trump. That's for sure.
Or any other weirdo that gets corrupted by power, but that's what it was based on politics, yeah.
Right. It is a great movie, and I didn't realize how great of an actor Andy Griffith was.
God almighty, he's frightening.
He was great.
Yeah, they're sitting your little OP tucking in the sleep. Night, Opes. He ain't B. There ain't nothing like that going on in this thing.
No, not at all.
Hell no.
You forget it's him.
Yeah, that's the best part.
The only thing I know, the Andy Griffith Show, which was just, very, very wholesome and nice and, some good fatherly acting, I guess. But
nothing like this.
Did he play a lot of heavies in his career?
Not often. I remember in the 70s, I saw him like a made-for-TV movie, and he was the leader of this biker gang.
Really?
There's some, you would have to almost Google it as, Andy as the heavy kind of thing. There's a few good ones where he plays a psycho mean guy a few times.
But I was thinking after A Face in the Crowd, he should have got a lot more work as a heavy, and he probably should have maybe won an Academy Award for something.
Straight up stage acting,
His acting was ridiculous.
Yes. No Time for Sergeants, he did, they made a film out of that. That was a Broadway show.
Yeah.
And that was when he first worked with Don Knotts. And, I think that helped morph into the television show.
I don't even think I ever heard, about A Face in the Crowd until you mentioned it last week.
Oh, I'm good. That's worth it.
It's a great movie if you want to check out something different. All right, we're going to take a break. YouTube channel, I'm pushing for 100,000 subscribers. I'll tell you that. I'll be honest. We're close. We're close to 100,000. So, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to put up videos every day. We put up what today, Paul? Oh, yeah, we put up Jim Brewer talking about his itchy donkey. It's a great little story he told yesterday on the show. So go click on that. And, Vic, what do you got going on?
I'm at the Hard Rock in Sioux City, Iowa, November 9th, and at the Funny Bone in Omaha the rest of that week. That's 10 through 12.
And good old Vic Henley on the Twitter. You're starting to use Twitter a little more.
I haven't gone on there and seen anything. I'll go on there and read where everybody hates stuff, but
it happens.
I'll tweet things. I'll put, stuff on. People always want to know movies and music and things like that, so that's easy.
Right.
Until they'll start saying that's a pile of shit, but that's okay. I love that. I'll have the artistic debate forever.
Oh, you call it an artistic debate?
If you're talking about movies and
really?
No, if you're shitting on me, you're right.
Right.
So if I suck, that's fine. I know that. I live in my head.
You enjoy an intelligence.
If you want to tell me why you didn't like the book, if you want to tell me why you didn't like the book or the movie or the whatever, that's fine.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to break here. When we come back, we got DC Benny and more with Vic Henley.